Deuteronomy chapter 33. This is the blessing which Moses the man of God blessed the sons of Israel before his decease. And he said, The Lord is come from out of Sinai, and he appeared from out of Seir to us, and he hastened from out of Mount Paran with myriads of Kadesh. At his right were angels with him, and he spared his people, and all the ones being sanctified by your hands. These are under you. And he received of his words the law which Moses gave charge to us, an inheritance of the congregation of Jacob. And he will be a ruler with the one being loved, being brought together with rulers of peoples among tribes of Israel. Let Reuben live and not die, and let Simeon be many in number. And to this Judah, listen, O Lord, of the voice of Judah, and unto his people, may they enter in. His hands shall litigate for him, and you will be a helper from out of his enemies. And to Levi he said, Give to Levi his manifestations and his truth. To the sacred man whom they tested him in trial, they reviled him at water of dispute. The one saying to his father and to his mother, I have not seen you. And his brothers he did not recognize, and his sons he did not know. He guarded your oracles, and he observed your covenant. They shall manifest your ordinances to Jacob, and your law to Israel. They shall place incense in the time of your anger, always upon your altar. Bless, O Lord, his strength, and the works of his hands receive. Break the loin of his enemies, having risen up against him. And the ones detesting him let not rise up. And to Benjamin he said, One being loved by the Lord, he shall encamp being yielded, and God's shadows over him all the days, and he rested between his shoulders. And to Joseph he said, His land is of the blessing of the Lord, of seasons of heaven, and of dew, and of the deeps of springs below, and according to the season of the offsprings of the circuits of the sun, and of the returns of the months, from the top of ancient mountains, and from the top of everlasting hills, and according to the fullness of the land in season, and the accepted things being seen in the bush, may they come upon the head of Joseph, and upon the top being glorified among brothers. As a firstborn bull is his beauty, horns of a unicorn are his horns. With them he shall gore nations together, even from the uttermost part of the earth. These are the myriads of Ephraim, and these are the thousands of Manasseh. And to Zebulun he said, Be glad, O Zebulun, in your departure, and Issachar in your tents. They shall utterly destroy nations, and you shall call upon there, and you shall sacrifice a sacrifice of righteousness. For the riches of the sea shall nurse you, and marketplaces dwelling on the coast. And to Gad he said, One being blessed, widening Gad. As a lion he rested, having broken the arm and the ruler. And he beheld the firstfruit, for there the land was portioned by rulers being brought together, heads of people. The Lord did righteousness, and his equity was with Israel. And to Dan he said, Dan, a lion cub, and he shall rush out from out of Bashan. And to Naphtali he said, Naphtali, a fullness of acceptable things, and let him be filled with blessing from the Lord. You shall inherit the west and the south. And to Asher he said, Asher is one being blessed of children, and he will be acceptable to his brothers. He shall dip his foot in olive oil. Iron and brass will be his sandal, and as your days, so your strength. There's not any as the God of the one being loved. The one mounting upon the heaven is your helper, even the majestic one of the firmament. And the sovereignty of God shall shelter you, and that under the strength of everlasting arms. And he shall cast out from your face the enemy, saying, May you perish! And Israel shall encamp alone, complying. Fountain of Jacob, with grain and wine, and the heaven covered with clouds, in dew on him. Blessed are you, O Israel, who is likened to you, a people being delivered by the Lord. Your helper is the shield and the sword of your boasting, and your enemies shall lie to you, and you shall mount upon their neck.